Herzlich willkommen zurück bei Lamplight City. Nach unserem Gespräch mit der Voodoo-Königin Miss Martin, nachdem wir dann so, ja, doch irgendwie aus der Wohnung geschmissen worden sind. Ja, wir sind wieder unterwegs. Gucken mal, dass wir, ja, dass wir noch woanders hinkommen. Oh, okay, da können wir noch niemals mehr hinfahren. Ja, gut. Dann ist das erstmal so. Ich würde sagen, wir gehen jetzt zur Universität und dann zu dem Dupré Herrenhaus, weil ich mich erstmal mit der Tochter unterhalten will, wenn sie denn dann da ist. Aber das sieht doch danach aus.
Oh, it's as though we've journeyed to the tropics. I don't know how you can stand to keep that coat on in here. Those flowers are definitely not native to this area. They seem to be thriving in their glass tubes, though.
Wechshaus. Okay, da ist ja Juliet Montgomery.
Pardon the disturbance, but are you Juliet Montgomery?
I am. And you are?
Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into the events surrounding your mother's attempted murder.
Ah, of course.
Have you got time to answer some questions?
Yes, that shouldn't be a problem.
Guten Tag.
Do you know anything about the events leading up to your mother's premature internment?
No, it was a complete shock. Mother seemed to be perfectly healthy and full of life. Then, without warning, she was dead. Or so we thought.
I take it you were glad to be wrong?
What a ridiculous question. Of course I was. What sort of heartless beast would celebrate their mother's death?
Oh, I could name a few. Juliet definitely didn't shed any tears over Madame Dupré, though. That much is obvious.
Miss Montgomery, you don't have to lie to me. I'm not going to assume you tried killing your mother just because you weren't upset by her death.
I felt terrible about it. You have to understand, I didn't want her to be dead. I just felt a sense of relief. Please, don't think me a horrible person, Mr. Fordham. It's just that Mother and I aren't currently on the best of terms.
Why don't you and your mother get along?
We've never completely seen eye to eye on anything. She always disapproved of anything I did. When I was younger, she used to forbid me from speaking to the servants. I saw no harm in a kind word or smile, but she warned us that if we were too familiar, they would take liberties. Then when I declared my intentions to pursue academic studies, she really went livid. In her opinion, a university education was tantamount to a chastity belt. What sort of man would want a wife with a head full of useless facts, she'd say.
Personally, I've always found intelligence to be quite attractive.
I assume your mother didn't approve of your involvement with Mr. Martin?
A rather forward question, Mr. Fordham. But you're not mistaken. I'm not sure how she managed to find out about Albert and me, but when she did, she nearly had a conniption. As I'm sure you can understand, the situation at home has been less than perfect in the last few months. I'd really rather not dwell on it.
Okay. Aber wie habt ihr das denn gefunden?
You mentioned you were friends with the servants.
Yes, that's right. I didn't care that they worked for us. Everyone needs a friend.
Did your mother ever mistreat them?
Mistreat? No, I wouldn't say so. She was always very stern, though, and quite cold. If they ever shirked their duties or misbehaved, they were punished, of course, but nothing out of the ordinary that I ever saw. Most of the servants are my friends, but I'm closest with Amelie, the kitchen maid. Mother wasn't too happy about that. Amelie's been around as long as I can remember. She's like the aunt I never had.
Okay.
What can you tell me about Albert Martin?
I'm not quite sure where to begin.
Why not start by telling me what your relationship with him was?
We met here at the greenhouse. He was working as an assistant, sweeping and cleaning and fetching things for the students. My focus was on academics, naturally. I wasn't too interested in romance. In fact, I've had to turn away nearly every single one of my classmates.
Ooh.
But with Albert, I found myself intrigued. I noticed him stealing glances, lingering just a bit too long after bringing over a book or flask, sweeping the same patch of floor near me over and over again. It wasn't too long before I had him bringing me tools and equipment, regularly.
I see.
As I mentioned, Mother was an absolute terror when she found out.
Do you believe Mr. Martin did what he stands accused of?
I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like him, but Albert can be quite passionate. If the police believe he's to blame, then they must have a reason for it. It wasn't any secret that he hated Mother. Perhaps I should have ended things sooner. It was satisfying to know that Mother was displeased, but I never imagined it would lead to something like this.
Well, it's nice to see she's all heart.
Okay. Sie ist sicher, dass er es nicht getan haben könnte.
So, you study botany. Fascinating subject.
Are you an admirer of plants, Mr. Fordham?
My wife has the green thumb in the household, but I do have a certain appreciation for them.
Plants are amazing things, just like people in many ways.
How do you mean?
They need attention and care. Ignore a plant, and it will wither. Give it too much attention, and it will become sick. Plants have many things to teach us, and I greatly enjoy learning from them.
Könnte man nicht aus so einer Pflanze vielleicht irgendwie so ein Zeug machen, weißt du? Dass man die eingeflößt haben oder so und dann ist sie in so eine Art Koma gefallen?
These plants are impressive. Are they yours?
Yes, I've developed a method to make them extra healthy and strong.
They're larger than anything I've ever seen. How do you do it?
Ah, but I can't reveal my secrets, Mr. Fordham. The world will hear about my discoveries soon enough.
Incidentally, do you know anything about Easter lilies?
No, I don't keep or grow those here.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Na, Easter Lilies für die, wegen das, was Bilder
I've never seen a flower grow that big. What do you suppose they're feeding them?
Ja, die haben ja, oder bei dem Einbruch in dem Blumenladen, ein Bonsai bauen.
One of those cute little Japanese trees that are all the rage these days. Personally, I don't see how giving a tree a haircut is meant to be relaxing.
Vor allem, wenn man sich nach jedem Schnitt ungefähr 5 Minuten die Haare wieder zupft. Naja, gut. Wir haben mit ihr gesprochen. Wir gehen jetzt mal in dieses Dupré-Haus.
You are aware this is private property, sir?
Ja,
Yes, I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the incident involving Madame Dupré. I assume this is she?
You assume correctly, Mr. Fordham. My apologies, but I thought the police had already made an arrest.
That's right, but there's still some doubt as to the man's guilt. May I ask your name, sir?
I am Dr. Fellows, Madame Dupré's private physician. I'm afraid she is in no state to be answering questions at present.
Are any other members of the family home?
Her son, Mr. Montgomery, is in the entrance hall. I had to give him a mild sedative to settle his nerves, but he should be all right to converse.
Then if you don't mind, I'll have a look around.
die ist ja irgendwie in so einer, die ist ja wie in so eine Starre oder so gefallen.
Her
Ne?
eyes are glazed over and she's got a vacant, expressionless stare. She seems completely oblivious to her surroundings. If we didn't know she'd been buried alive, I'd say she was just exhibiting the typical symptoms of your average rich person.
Doctor, may I ask you a few...
Please be my...
Okay, wir fragen jetzt erstmal den Doktor so ein bisschen noch, bevor wir dann den Sohn dann nochmal zu fragen.
Tell me about Madame Dupré.
She is a great woman and a pillar of the community. I cannot imagine why something like this could happen to her, or how someone could be capable of such a barbaric feat. Though this ordeal has been terrible, I am confident she will overcome. The power of her physical constitution is surpassed only by her strength of character.
Do you think he'd say the same things if he wasn't on her payroll?
Ja,
I
eben,
highly doubt
das ist
it.
natürlich leicht zu sagen für jemanden, der von der bezahlt wird.
What were the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupré's supposed death?
Her son, Andrew, sent for me a few days ago after finding her unconscious and unresponsive. As I was unable to detect a pulse or breath, I had no other recourse but to declare her deceased. I judged that Madame Dupré had likely suffered a sudden cardiac arrest. It was most shocking to be proven wrong at a funeral.
I can imagine. Where was the funeral held, by the way?
St. Denis Cemetery. Madame Dupré wished to be interred in the tomb of her father's family, name of Chesterton.
Perhaps I'll go have a look.
Okay.
How long have you been Madame Dupré's private physician?
5 years, and I've been practicing medicine for the past 30. I still spend a couple of days a week treating patients at Riverview Asylum.
Oh, good. Maybe if you're lucky, he could be your doctor someday.
30 years is quite a long time. You must have seen some incredible advances in the field of medicine.
I have, yes. I can only wonder how things will change with all this talk of ethericity. There's speculation it can be used to restore necrotic tissue and instantly heal broken bones, among other things. If you ask me, a good bloodletting will never go out of fashion.
Schön Aderlass, jawohl.
Did you examine Madame Dupre after she reanimated?
Of course. Physically, she appeared to be in fine health aside from minor dehydration. I found no marks or bruising on her body. Mentally is a different story, however. She's remained in an unresponsive state ever since.
Do you have any opinions on what caused Madame Dupre to appear dead?
The most likely cause I can imagine is some sort of poison or toxin.
Würde wieder mit den Blumen
What
passen,
leads you
ne?
to believe Madame Dupre was poisoned?
The symptoms she experienced were consistent with prior cases of poisoning I've studied. And didn't the young man arrested have ties to some kind of black magic cult? There have been reported cases of these practitioners using poisons to make people appear dead, then commanding them to do their bidding. I recall reading about a man in the West Indies who was given tetrodotoxin, that's the toxic secretion from a pufferfish, declared dead and buried. He appeared alive in his village some 20 years later.
Doesn't that seem a bit far-fetched to you, Doctor?
Facts are facts, Mr. Fordham. Surely someone in your line of work can appreciate that.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
Das ist so komisch, ne? Also, ja, ich meine, also vergiftet, da kann ich ihm noch irgendwie folgen, aber mit Schwarzmagie, das ist doch Quatsch. Das ist doch Quatsch. Okay, Springbogengarten. Okay, ich würde mal sagen, wir gehen hier mal rein. Guck mal, voll am Chillen.
Oh, hello. Are you the new servant?
No, I'm Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into your mother's attempted murder.
How did you know I was her son? Oh, of course. You must have sensed it with your detective's intuition. I should have guessed by that giant head of yours.
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Montgomery?
Yes, I'm fine. Much better than when those pesky police officers were. But I like you, Mr. Fordham. I can already tell you're not like them. Not like them at all. Please, call me Andrew.
Yes, well, I'll have a look around and I may need to ask you some questions. Do you think you can handle that?
I can. In fact, I really look forward to it.
If the good doctor gave him a mild
Alter.
sedative, I'd hate to see what the stuff you take would have done to him.
Der ist der am Arsch, ey.
Beautiful parrot. Must have cost the Dupre's a cool copper.
Ja, ein Popo. Wir können darüber sprechen.
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you. Rock.
Oh.
Pieces of 8?
Bye, matey. Rock.
So long, birdie.
Rock. Bye-bye.
Boy,
Do you suppose that's for the bird? Or perhaps so the Dupre family members can get a good look at themselves on the way out of the house? Dupre looks like she's holding on to that poor bastard for dear life.
So, Küche. Ach, da war doch die, nach oben. Wir gehen erstmal zur Küche, da müsste dann noch diese andere Frau da noch sein. Genau. Die Amelie, genau.
Certainly no shortage of bowls or food preparation items around here. Yeah, it looks like gumbo's on the menu tonight. I wonder how it compares with Upton's special recipe.
Spüle, Gewürze. Tresen. Wir sprechen mal mit der Amelie.
Pardon me, miss.
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm investigating the attempted murder of Madame Dupre.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm very busy. I can't help you.
Amelie, please. I need to know what you know about Madame Dupre.
What? How did you know my name?
Ich bin Detektiv. Es ist mein Job, Dinge zu wissen.
Juliet told me about you.
Miss Juliet?
Yes, I spoke to her at the university. She mentioned you two were friends.
Yes, that's right. She's always been so good to me.
Look, Amelie, I'm just trying to get some information. And I have a feeling you can be very helpful if you just let me talk to you.
All right, fine. But do it as fast as you can.
Ja dann. Achso. Nix.
Tell me about Madame Dupré.
Oh, I really shouldn't, sir.
It would greatly help my investigation if you did.
Madame Dupré was kind enough to hire me as her cook. It's hard to get jobs in the city. Lots of people want their servants to use those new machines. My sister's brother-in-law got half his leg blown off by one of those new ovens.
Ui.
He's lucky he wasn't killed. So I'm plenty happy working here doing real people's work. But madam can be difficult sometimes.
Difficult? What do you mean by that?
No, I said enough.
What do you know about Madame Dupré's supposed death?
All I can tell you is that whoever did it really hated her.
Do you know Albert Martin, the man accused of the crime?
No, I'm sorry.
What can you tell me about Andrew?
He ain't so bad. Kinda spoiled, but he mostly cleans up after himself. Has a whole private part of the house, but I think he only uses one room. Better for me, way less to clean.
What do you know about Juliet?
She was always so kind to me and the others, but her mother don't like that one bit. Still, she sneaks down into the kitchen to keep me company some nights. Even though she's a good soul, I think part of her does it just to spite her mother.
Are you the only remaining servant here?
No, there's another one, Marcel. He's the new gardener. I haven't seen him in a few days, though. Not since before Madam's incident.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now please, let me get back to work.
Ja, geh du mal, schnibbel du mal da ein bisschen Gambo. Ich weiß nicht genau, was Gambo ist, aber es klingt irgendwie geil. Kann aber auch damit zu tun haben, dass ich Hunger habe. Das ist nicht auszuschließen. Gut, ich würde sagen, wir gehen nach oben, wenn er uns denn lässt. Wobei der ist so high, der lässt wahrscheinlich alles mit sich machen.
A horrible little porcelain figurine. Madame Dupré didn't strike me as the type to play with dolls.
Gang, Blumen. Hier ist noch eine Tür, da ist noch eine Tür. Wir gehen mal in die rein. Kiste.
Locked. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised.
Ja, aber das kriegt man doch auf.
Let's have a look through these papers. Aha, what's this?
Eintrag. Liebe Miss Montgomery, unglücklicherweise wurde ich über einige Einbrüche bei unseren Nachbarn nahe dem Zimmer, das sie in der Forest Lane 76 von mir gemietet haben, unterrichtet. Als Vorsichtsmaßnahme habe ich die Schlösser getauscht, an ein neuer Schlüssel für sie. Jawollo! Das ist natürlich sehr gut. Miss Montgomery, das ist doch eine Juliet. Die hat bestimmt das Ding... Ich glaube, die hat bestimmt ein Zimmer gemietet, um sich mit dem...
So, Juliet is renting a room in the chum.
Mr. Martin,
That's certainly interesting.
zu
I
treffen.
can't wait to see what sort of dirty secrets she's got hidden away in there.
Bin sehr gespannt. Habe ich den Schlüssel denn jetzt eingepackt?
They're all empty. How unusual.
Not to mention disappointing.
Ja, vor allem...
I've never seen so many beauty products together in one place. Doesn't look like they get used much, though. Juliet really likes plants and flowers, doesn't she?
Scheinbar.
Well, someone's fancy. I never liked these types of beds much. They feel too claustrophobic.
I always thought they had a certain appeal myself.
Yes, you would think that about a bed that lets you shut out the rest of the world.
So, dann würde ich sagen, gehen wir mal hier raus. Ich hoffe, wir haben den Schlüssel jetzt eingepackt. Wenn nicht, wäre das natürlich richtig blöd. So, dann gehen wir mal hier rein. Ist auch geil, dass sie mich da einfach rumlaufen lassen.
It would appear that Madame Dupré was taking music lessons.
Her current predicament has probably put an end to that venture, though.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
That's an old uniform, from the turn of the century by the look of it. This must be Madame Dupré's first husband. Kinda strange that she'd still keep his portrait in the bedroom. A much younger Madame Dupré. I suppose that's a nice alternative to a mirror.
Ja, manchmal ist es besser, sich in der Vergangenheit aufzuhalten.
Seems Madame Dupré fancies herself a poet.
An den Traum. O Morpheus, liebkose meine Wange, zeig mir die Offenbarung, leih mir die Kraft, fühl ich mich bange. Herrin, ich bin mit deinem Bereichenleiter mit einverstanden. Angst ist mir unbekannt. Ich bin nicht so der Poet. Die Taube. Die Taube ist pur, gelassen und blass. Ein strahlender Vogel von glänzendem Blau. Ihre sanften Rufe sind nicht so krass wie die Schreie der Krähe im dunkelsten Grau. Schützt die Taube vor dem Vergessen. Lass sie schweben in sanfter Pracht. Denn wenn die Krähe sich anschickt zu essen, dann versinkt die Welt in dunkelster Nacht. Okay.
Well, that was life-changing.
Ja,
For once in my life, I'm completely speechless.
Then perhaps I should take this with me and read it more often. Nah.
Das ist...
You've got some huge bags under your eyes, Miles. Reminds me of the case we had on that strange train.
Don't remind me.
Das war irgendwie nicht so dürfte. Okay, sonst ist hier, glaube ich, erstmal so nix. Gehen wir mal raus. Gehen wir nochmal in den Eingang. Das machen wir jetzt noch. Also hier rein. Da kann man doch bestimmt...
Goodness, someone went overboard with the flowers. This brings back some memories, doesn't it?
Ones I'd rather forget.
Als wird's Blumen.
Why would anyone need so many flowers in one room?
Perhaps it's to mask the odors of those chemicals on the workstation.
Could be.
Pinzette, Buch.
These should be useful.
Na klar, wir klauen erstmal alles. Fläschchen, Stimulanzpillen.
Dr. Tennyson's Vigor Pills. These would make a sloth act like a hummingbird.
The bottle is empty.
Oh. Meine Frau hätte sich bestimmt gefreut.
A gentle reminder that everyone's time is slowly running out. What in the ether is that thing supposed to be? Actually, I'd rather not know. Is this really the best that medical science has to offer? Decadent.
Die ist wirklich sehr dekadent, die Waage.
I can only wonder what sort of potions Andrew concocts in this thing. The science of pharmacology. I'm sure it's riveting stuff. It looks as though this folded piece of paper is being used as a bookmark.
Ja, los.
I hope remembering what page they were on wasn't too important.
Looks like it's a letter for Andrew.
Ich dachte, der macht die Seite jetzt auf. Andrew, hier findest du die vereinbarte Summe. Ohne diese Unterstützung könnte ich mich auf die Prüfung nicht konzentrieren. Dr. Tennyson verlangt einen obszönen Betrag dafür. Zum Glück gibt es Leute wie dich, die ein Heimlabor haben. Ach, der macht Drogen für... Ich schaue nach den Dingern im üblichen Versteck unter den weinenden Engeln. Joshua, es tut mir leid wegen deiner Mutter. Ich warte mal ein paar Tage, bevor ich wieder vorbeikomme. Das heißt, er macht Drogen für Mitstudenten, damit die mal runterkommen können.
The science of...
Okay. Ne, die kann man sich nicht anschauen. Okay. Gut, ich würde sagen, wir machen hier einmal ganz kurz Pause und sehen uns dann in der nächsten Folge wieder. Da gucken wir uns mal das Cembalo und ja, nochmal so ein paar andere Sachen an. Ansonsten gehen wir natürlich auch wieder runter zum Quatschen mit dem Andrew. Da bin ich mal sehr gespannt, was man aus dem rauskriegt, wenn man denn dann was von dem rauskriegt. Ich bedanke mich auf jeden Fall recht herzlich fürs Zuschauen. Wir sehen uns dann in der nächsten Folge von Lamplight City. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen. Bis demnächst. Auf Wiedersehen.